Welcome to the Star Life TV channel. In this video, I will talk about symbolism and the Black Mass under the guise of a show at the Eurovision 2022 final. On May 14, Turin hosted the superfinal of the Eurovision Song Contest 2022. Artists from 25 countries took part in it. 20 participants advanced to the semi-finals. 5 more performers from the Big Five got there automatically. As expected, the most symbolic numbers made it to the final, and the contest itself turned into a kind of coven. As a result, viewers around the world, who were rooting for their countries online, witnessed a real black mass and undisguised worship of dark forces. First, let's look at the design of the room. The stage on which the artists performed was made in the shape of an inverted triangle, symbolizing the fall of the world. Directly behind it was a black disc. Multimedia artist and stage designer Francesca Montanaro, who designs the stage, called it kinetic sun. The black sun is an esoteric occult symbol, which is the invisible center of the universe, the cause and beginning of all being. The designer had the following to say about her project. The kinetic sun, the source of breathtaking movement and lighting tricks, rules the stage. We are those who have the sun inside, and this is our way of being in this world. Thus, the artist voiced one of the theories about the structure of our world, which she reflected in her design. Among other things, from a certain angle, the so-called kinetic sun resembled a huge eye, a symbol of the all-seeing eye. The final of Eurovision 2022 was opened by Italian singer Laura Pausini. One of her numbers resembled a ritual of a secret society. Together with the singer, people in black robes, similar to the attire of members of the Masonic Lodge, stood on the stage. They were all standing inside a pyramid of light. During the next number of Laura Pausini, she was accompanied by guys and girls in black outfits and red gloves. There was a feeling that their hands were completely covered in blood. The dancers were wearing virtual reality glasses in front of their eyes, which gave a reference to the theme of the illusory nature of our world. The singer herself was also dressed in all black. The hosts of the Eurovision 2022 final were Laura Pausini, TV presenter Alessandro Catalan and singer Mika. Throughout the competition, they constantly demonstrated famous gestures. The screensavers that were shown during the announcement of the participants were very symbolic. The artists were holograms appearing against the backdrop of the sights of the country. All this gives a reference to the idea of digitalization of our world. The representatives of the Czech Republic were the first of the contestants to take the stage. The group We Are Domi performed a song called Turn Off the Light. It began with lines that clearly refer to the sale of the soul to the devil. I lost my soul. Forgot my way, there's no mistakes that I've not made. During the performance, terrible images flashed behind the backs of the artists. First, ancient statues appeared on the screen, bleeding. A little later, these same statues were wrapped with barbed wire and chains. All this can symbolize suffering and lack of freedom in the human body. Initially, you might think that we are talking about ordinary people. However, soon the statues are shown with a covered eye, emphasizing the symbolism of the all-seeing eye. In addition, their bodies are painted with creepy tattoos. Here you can see an inverted cross, which is the main symbol of Satanists, a lightning bolt, giving a reference to Lucifer, the Star of David. The image of a grave with the inscription RIP and other occult symbols. Wriggling snakes appear on the neck of the statues, which give a reference to the devil tempter. Thus, it becomes clear that the statues symbolize the representatives of the famous cult themselves. At the end of the number, the statues begin to shatter into pieces. According to the teachings of the Illuminati, in order to come to the integrity of oneself, it is important to lose the human form. It is this process that is shown at the moment when the statues are falling apart. Representatives of Romania were the second to take the stage. The singer and his backing band were dressed in red and black, matching the favorite colors of the Illuminati. In the issue of the Romanians, the focus was on the theme of LGBT communities. Andrei Ursu was accompanied by feminine guys, with one of whom he danced a sensual dance. The number of the popular Finnish band the Rasmus was a reference to the movie It and the creepy clown Pennywise. The group's lead singer Lauri Ylönen appeared on stage in a yellow raincoat with a balloon in his hands. Around his neck was a huge chain that was a reference to the MK Ultra mind control program. The image of the singer clearly resembled the cover of the film It. This film told about a creature that could take on different guises and draw its strength from the fears, hatred and disappointment of people. His victims, as a rule, were small children. Then the Swiss singer Marius Bear appeared on the Eurovision stage. He was dressed in all black. In the middle of the performance, a projection of a broken heart appeared on the artist's face, which clearly emphasized one of his eyes. The number of representatives of France was more like a black mass. The performers danced among the lights on the Triskelion symbol, which from ancient times served as a source of energy for shamans conducting magical rituals. The text of the song is fully consistent with what is happening on stage. She's dancing with the devil. What about it? I'm dancing with the devil. What about it? Passion and mud. Passion. Jabberdow and mud. The forest is humming at the touch of the stamping spark. Its charming magic climbs up to the big trees. The artists themselves now and then demonstrated well-known gestures. One of the most memorable Eurovision 2022 contestants is the Banana Wolves from Norway. Their costumes gave a reference to the ancient Egyptian god of the dead, Anubis. The wolves were accompanied by girls in faceless costumes and a DJ in a spacesuit. He was at the control panel, shaped like a flying saucer. The artists themselves positioned themselves as aliens from the moon, which gives a reference to the cult of the same name worshipping dark forces. Armenian singer Rosa Lynn appeared on stage inside the White Room. In the middle of the room, the girl began to open the graffiti on the walls. The result was a phrase that, "The last one June 22nd snap." This may be an allusion to the plans of the Illuminati to arrange a nuclear explosion on this date. Spanish representative Chanel took the stage in a skimpy black dress. During the performance, she and her group of backup dancers demonstrated a gesture that combines an underlined eye and 3 sixes, which is called the Eye of Lucifer. The singer from the Netherlands stood inside a black cube during her performance, referring to the cult of Saturn. At the end of the number, the screen behind her was illuminated in the form of a huge eye. Monica Liu, a Lithuanian singer, covered one eye and showed a gesture of 3 sixes during her performance. Periodically, the image of the singer was divided, as if her exact copy was standing on the stage with her. Doubles for the Illuminati are of particular importance. In their opinion, each person has an energy double, the so-called double, the actions of which can be learned to control if one develops magical abilities in oneself. The theme of doubles is also touched upon in the number of the singer from Azerbaijan Nadir Rustamli, who came on stage next. First, the artist sat on a ladder, symbolizing the steps of Freemasonry. At the same time, half of his face was almost constantly darkened, which emphasized the symbolism of the all-seeing eye. Then he began to move, and the man on the bottom step exactly repeated his movements. At that time, 2 heads appeared on the screen, which were connected to each other at the energy level. These images again show that every person has a kind of double. At the end of the number, the stairs split into 2 parts, and the second person began to move independently of Nadir. However, after they meet face to face, the doppelganger falls unconscious. All this illustrates the theory of the Illuminati that if a person meets his double, then one of them will surely die. Singer from Greece Amanda Georgiadi chose a cute feminine image for her performance, but the words of her song did not correspond to him at all. The girl sang about hell and death. The song contains the following lines: "It's been a lovely year for us, yeah. That's what they say, it's been a hell of a year and we've been living in fear, close to giving up. Take my heart and rip it out, bring it to the other side, take my heart and rip it out. A shadow periodically fell on Amanda's face, which emphasized the symbolism of the all-seeing eye. In addition, overturned chairs were scattered next to her, which evoked associations with apocalyptic images. The number of the representative of Australia, Sheldon Riley, was very symbolic. The singer took the stage in a white long skirt with a huge train. The camera several times focused on his manicure, which was clearly not suitable for a man. On the head of the artist was a diadem, from which a mask descended, hiding his face. In general, the image of Sheldon resembled a Disney princess and did not correlate with the concept of a man. His song was appropriate and was called "Not Like Everyone Else." At the end of the number, Riley took off his mask, as if coming out, and confessed his orientation to everyone. Thus, the entire issue of The Australian was dedicated to the promotion of LGBT communities. British singer Sam Ryder was next on stage, finishing in second place. On the chest of the artist, whose image was somewhat reminiscent of Christ, there was a tattoo in the form of a pyramid with an all-seeing eye. On Ryder's suit, one could see the sun and the moon, which are some kind of yin-yang icon. Its meaning lies in the unity of two opposite principles. During the performance, the singer stood inside a certain dome. In the end, he opened up, as if releasing the Antichrist. The number of the contestant from Poland was very creepy. 4 demonic entities raged around him, which can symbolize the horsemen of the apocalypse. At some point, flashes of lightning lit up the whole scene. At the same time, it felt like the world was collapsing. The lightning is a reference to Lucifer. In the 10th chapter, 18th verse of the Gospel of Luke, it says, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven." The artist himself at that time demonstrated the gesture of 3 sixes. The lyrics of the song corresponded to everything that was happening on the stage and contained a kind of call to leave the physical world. The performance of the singer Konstraktor from Serbia was more like an occult ritual performed right on the stage. The artist sat in front of a basin of water and made hypnotizing movements with her hands. Next to her stood men in clothes similar to the attire of the clergy. At some point, everything around was lit up with red light, and the floor under the feet of the artists turned into a chess field, symbolizing the unity of good and evil among the Illuminati. What is happening on the stage has become even more reminiscent of the ritual of a secret society. The lyrics to the song were also pretty creepy. They seemed to be programming for future diseases, and also reflected the essence of the procedure for universal immunization of the population from the fashionable virus. So how am I going to be watched? In the name of health. How will I be taken care of? In the name of health. The artist is invisible. In the name of health. Do not see me. This is magic in the name of health. As expected, Ukraine won the Eurovision Song Contest 2022. At the end of their number, the members of the Kalush Orchestra group turned to the world with a call to help their country.
Please help Ukraine, Mariupol! Help Azovstal right now!
According to the rules of the competition, any political slogans are prohibited on it. However, no one even thought to say that Ukraine had violated something. In this case, the victory of this country once again confirms that the Eurovision Song Contest is no longer exclusively a song contest, which evaluates the talent of performers. Thus, Eurovision 2022 was once again an undisguised frenzy. The numbers of the contestants resembled occult rituals performed right on the stage. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Put like.